It has been years since I last thought about that night. Some memories fade, but some stay buried until something small brings them back. This story belongs to the second kind. When I was a teenager living in New Jersey, my friends and I loved exploring old abandoned buildings. We called it urban exploring. Most of the time, we found nothing but broken glass and empty rooms. Still, it gave us a thrill. One summer night, we decided to visit an abandoned middle school that had been mentioned online for years. People said strange things about it, but no one ever proved anything. There were 4 of us that night. Me, Yuri, Frank, and Freddie. Frank and I always carried spray paint to tag walls. I also packed a few leftover fireworks from the 4th of July. That was our usual routine. We would explore, paint a little, maybe set off some fireworks and run away before any police showed up. Yuri was driving. When we reached the place, the building looked huge and silent under the moonlight. We parked a few blocks away and walked. A chain-link fence surrounded the school, but we found a hole cut through it. The air on the other side felt colder, as if we had stepped into another world. We used our flashlights and entered through a side door that was still open. The sound of our steps echoed down long hallways filled with dust and peeling paint. There were broken lockers and pieces of furniture scattered across the floor. Every noise we made seemed too loud. After a few minutes, we found a stairway that led down to the basement. It smelled of rust and mold. In the middle of that room was a large red symbol painted on the floor. It was a pentagram and the color looked fresh. No one said much. Freddie laughed nervously, but none of us stayed there for long. We went back upstairs and found a classroom with one clean white wall that had not been touched by graffiti. Frank called it a perfect canvas. While he painted, Yuri and Freddie said they would search for a way to the roof. Their flashlight beams disappeared down the hall. The building was silent again. I walked outside the room to look at some old graffiti. Then Frank shouted my name. His voice sounded angry and confused. He said his backpack was gone. We both looked around but found nothing. He thought Freddie was playing a trick. It did seem like something Freddie would do. Still, the hallway felt different, as if someone else was there with us. We decided to look for the others and leave. As we searched the upper floors, I noticed an open door ahead. Inside the classroom, the red symbol appeared again, this time dripping down the wall like wet paint. In the corner sat Frank's missing backpack. He grabbed it quickly but said nothing funny about the situation. The air in that room felt heavy, like it was warning us to leave. We stepped back into the hall, and that was when we heard footsteps. Yuri and Freddie came running toward us, yelling for us to run. We did not ask questions. We just ran. The sound of more footsteps followed from behind. They were heavier and faster. Shadows moved along the walls. We turned corner after corner trying to find our way out, but every hallway looked the same. At one point, Yuri stopped and whispered for us to stay quiet. For a few seconds, everything was silent. Then we heard a sound. It was a sharp hissing noise coming from somewhere ahead. It was not an animal. It was a person. Then a low voice spoke from the darkness. It said I should have cut you when I had the chance. We ran again. The shouting behind us grew louder. Someone was chasing us through the maze of hallways. Finally, we saw a faint light ahead. It was the door we had entered through. We burst through it and kept running across the field through the gap in the fence and straight to Yuri's car. Only when we were halfway down the road did anyone speak. Freddie said they had seen 3 people in the school. They were sitting in a circle wearing dark robes. They were playing with glass pieces or stones on the floor. When Freddie and Yuri stepped closer, one of the figures looked up and hissed. Then they all stood and charged toward them. None of us spoke after that. We sat in silence until we reached a gas station miles away. Frank stared out the window and whispered that there must have been 4 people inside. 1 took his bag and 3 chased the others. We never went back. The school still stands somewhere in North Jersey. People still post new photos of it. Sometimes I look at them and wonder if the photographers ever noticed the faint shapes that stand too far back in the dark to be sure they are real.